Hello everybody, welcome back to the Guild Wars Factions playthrough. So apologize for there not being any videos last week. I was originally intending to um gonna make a video last week, but I was having technical difficulties with my computer. I had updated to an experimental driver so that way I can see if I can get FSR4 working, because I was experimenting, seeing how it looked, what I wanted to do, and then my display started cutting out when I was playing video games, and I had to figure out. It took me all weekend to figure out how to both on like in terms of getting it fixed. Because I had other things that I had to get done first. But yeah, it took me quite a while, but I eventually got that fixed. I'm on a different distro right now, just temporarily, because this one made it very easy to switch to a different driver and fix the problem. But I like the other one more, so I'm going to stay on this one just for a little bit, enjoy the stability that I'm having right now before I switch back to a more complicated distribution. Um, but I think I got all the settings working out nicely. So we're gonna go do some side quest magic. So first things first, let's get our party together. Let's see. Healer, fighter, henchman. There we go. If I remember correctly, the last time I said we're going to be doing the side quests over here in the archipelagos. You guys will notice that there is some, I think the right word for it. That there's some quests that aren't in my log anymore, because I'd actually attempted to record the video, thinking that maybe I might have fixed the issue at one point, so I turned in the other two quests that we did last time over in Mashang Hills. So that unfortunately recording's been lost time. So you didn't see me turn those in, but I did do that off video. It lasted just long enough for me to leave. I think I left Kavlon and then it crashed, if I remember the sequence correctly. So let us begin. The Archipelagos. I just looked it over OBS, and for some reason, for like a split second, my face got super bright, and I don't know why. Uh, Sometimes we just can't have nice things. I think that's the problem. I think it's better now. Don't ask me why these things happen. I just, mess with things until they hopefully don't come up again. Yeah, we're on our goal to get to 10,000 Luxon faction. We're only at 3,750. It's going to take us a little bit to get over there. Alright, I bribed him for an extra 50 gold, so that way I can get the buff I need for... I'm trying to think of the right word for it, my brain's trying to tell me. That way I can get the Luxon faction killing some enemies. That's the word I was looking for. My brain just refused to agree with me. Don't ask me why. Alright, so for now, we're going to try and keep our spirits alive. Try to face off against these bad guys. So we need to find Reaver Tomax, according to our quest log over here. We summon these guys. I'm also going to resummon my other spirits because I can summon them now to my new location. So I figured rather than let them time out, I might as well summon them now. Oh boy, those are just spirits. Okay. I was like, wait, there's more enemies I noticed? Is there Onis? Did Oni spawn it? No, it wasn't the Onis. It was just other shenanigans going on. Yeah, for those of you, anyone who's curious about what distribution I'm currently on, I switched to Pika OS from Catchy OS, just because I was like, Catchy OS is where I install that new driver, Um, is where I installed that new driver, and I was like, I don't know how to fix this. And then I had the idea, okay, I'm gonna go back to Arch Linux because while I couldn't get Guild Wars fully working, and I actually did get it working, and then I broke it again on that one temporarily. But but I was having the same problem, even though I like went through the process of installing new drivers as part of the setup. Um, I guess it was like already detected that I had drivers and was like, "You're fine." So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try another one that's gaming oriented, just to try and see maybe if it's not Linux based, because CatchyOS is based on Arch Linux. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna change it up and go for one that wasn't Arch Linux based. And I went to PeakOS, which I think is the current version is based off of Debian OS. I think older versions were based on Ubuntu, but I think this current one's Debian. And I had experience with Ubuntu-based systems because when I first started, I did Linux Mint, which is based on it. They have an Ubuntu and a Debian version. I use the Ubuntu version. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. Oh, I'm gonna resummon my guys. Even though I just summoned them here, they're about to time out, so I was like, I should probably summon them again. Yeah, but thankfully though, PeakOS actually had a really simple functionality to change which driver I was using, and was able to get that fixed. But I did actually have to install it twice because initially it didn't work when I tried to change drivers, but then I reinstalled it and then allowed me to change the drivers at that point. So I was like, whew, thank goodness. And PeakOS, one of the nice things about it when I noticed it is that while it's Debian based, it also uses a lot of stuff from CatchyOS for the gaming oriented stuff. So it's definitely nice, simple out of the box. I'm trying to focus on not dying here. I aggroed a bit more than I probably should have, but thankfully we're able to stay alive. So are my spirits. Oh wait, Bloodsong's alive. I lost one of my 3-6 spirits and Signature spirits. I was like, I have 3 spirits of Bloodsong must die, but then I noticed Bloodsong's name was up on my screen. I was like, oh, we're just fine. Alright, good, we made it. We're winners. We're cool kids. But yeah, it was definitely one of those things where I was like, oh my god, I just spent way too much money on this brand new computer. If it breaks, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Thankfully, we're good. Oh, hopefully that guy doesn't aggro. Okay, then my sister Lee's just trying to heal people. I was like, don't try to heal. Oh no, don't try to fight those guys up above. Oh no. Oof, that Salt Spray Dragon. The Teleport Breath of Fire combination, that hurt. Also destroyed, I think, all of my spirits. That was painful. And not something I was expecting to happen. Oof, but I just got taken out again. These dragons, man, they definitely live up to the name. That sucked is that I got revived and I just couldn't generate energy back in order to like actually get my spirits back out or anything like that, which made it really obnoxious. Healer, so long as Sister Ty doesn't die, we should be able to recover from this. Oh, Mr. Snapjaw's identified me as a threat, so I'm gonna run over here, try to get my signets out. And then I'm going to hide behind them. We accidentally aggroed the last group that was left alive over here, but should be okay. Sister Ty's still alive. Oh, okay, good. Now everyone's back to life. I've got energy back. I only have, thankfully, only have -7 death penalty. Could be a lot worse, considering I died twice there. Yeah, I was thinking we can go to our destination from here, but I think we actually need to backtrack. Go along this bridge over here, unless... Can we go over this way? might be able to. Yeah, like the PeakOS is gonna run smooth. The one problem I have with PeakOS is for some reason the terminal installer install things into the root partition instead of to the general partition. Or it's like, for example, when I installed like um, OBS or like other programs that most other operating systems would simply put into the main partition. Which, for those of you who don't know what that is, partition basically is like your hard drive gets partitioned down to different pieces, instead of all being in one big group. For a lot of them, some of them are the same as Windows, where it is all one big one. But what would happen is that for some reason, when I use the terminal command to install stuff, which I like to do, like once I got to the point where I understood what doing that meant. Because, you know, I know for certain it is for the distribution that I'm using. It's very nice, and you can do some customization. You know, like once you get, it's like that terminal. It's one of those things where a lot of people say terminal's the one that people get most worried about. Once you get used to it, it makes life super easy. Oh, I gotta resummon these guys. They all died. Trying to make sure I can at least be somewhat useful to the team here. So. And what's kind of annoying about that one is that, you know, like I had allocated to the root actually 100 gigabytes out of my 2 terabyte drive. Because I was like, you know, might as well give it like actually, I think it's set to automatic partitioning size, and then I allowed it to make also a separate swap partition, which ended up being like 80 to 100 gigabytes, somewhere in that range. And now it's telling me it's full because it installs all those programs into that 100 gigabyte of space, and I'm like, but why? You have 2 terabytes to work with. Why are you restricting yourself to 100 gigabytes? Thankfully, everything else I've installed actually goes in the proper spaces. So it's like, okay, you are a game if I download it from Steam. You're actually using up that 2 terabyte drive. But, you know, suddenly it's a... but, you know, it's like a software program like OBS, something else that's like, you know, all of you are restricted to 100 gigabytes. I didn't feel like I had enough installed to fill up that 100 gigabytes, so I wouldn't be surprised if I did install Bottles, the program that I'm using to run, Guild Wars right now, due to the fact that it was the, different distributions really have different programs that I can use Guild Wars working. Most of the ones I love are able to make use of just the base wine feature with their customization to make Guild Wars run beautifully. Other ones, like PeakOS, Open Mandriva, that I've tried. I think those are the two off the top of my head where I've had to use a different software. Open Mandriva, I used Lutris. Worked out nicely. For this one, I opted to use Bottles. Tomax, you need a strong back and a strong spirit to take this from the frozen sea of Jade. Night Rider, and I collect the option for Night Raiders. We thought they were Kurziks. Kurziks are hitting us all the time. We finally killed one of them. And it was no Kurzik, it was Naga. Must be that tribe led by Xeris Stickleback. He used to hunt the roads near here. A bandit and a thief. Don't know why he's attacking us now, but we don't have time to deal with him. Here's what I need you to do. Find Stickleback and take his head. Bring us to that camp in Noble and tell him we're back on schedule. If a severed Noghead won't convince him we're sincere, I don't know what will. Not sure how big of a fan a Canthan Noble is of getting Naga heads in general, but you know, maybe he's into that kind of thing. Um, yeah, we'll find out. He's over on the east side, and not thankfully not like not too far from where we are. So we kind of cleared a little bit in the direction we have to go, anyways. You know, the more you know. Uh, yeah. Right now, I am. Besides that annoyance with PicoOS and the way that they use the system menu instead of it being like just a little menu pop up, it actually, if you know Steam Big Mode, like game mode or big window mode, I forget what it's called. But you know where like without like instead of just being a little pop up like taskbar like on Windows and other Linux distributions I've experimented with, the thing actually completely takes up the entire screen, and then you still go from there to select it. I mean, it looks nice, but in terms of practicality, I would much more prefer just a little pop up because it makes it easier for me to open it when I'm doing in the middle of something real fast, but I forgot to open up the program. I will click it, boot it up, and then there. Now I have to go click. Oh, I have a new screen. Click that. Otherwise than that, if you're interested in a very simple Debian-based Linux distribution, I do recommend PicoOS. Plus, the wallpapers that it comes with is actually quite cute. I love it. My wife likes it too, but she had made she's still on catch-us, but she didn't have the same problems I did because I use my own computer for experimentation, and I'm like, once I have it working, I will get it working on your computer too. That's usually how it goes. Because she's not as tech savvy as me, and I don't want her to have a negative opinion of Linux, but she's been a Windows user for as long as she had computers. No, she's only ever had laptops before for school. This is actually the first tower computer, is one that we got her last month, and now it's August. It's been running great, runs all the games she wants without issues. I mean, it's the same outside of the CPU and some the individual parts. It is almost identical to mine. She has like a higher end motherboard because I got a really good deal on it for the color scheme she wanted. But she wanted an all white color scheme. I wanted an all black, preferably no RGB color scheme. She wanted white with RGB. So there's some differences there in terms of like the case, things like that. Like she has I was gonna get her the same brand I did. I got a Sapphire, AMD, and after I bought it, I learned that I had a good choice because Sapphire apparently is like AMD exclusive, so they usually make pretty good graphics cards. But what kind of happens is that, well, for her, but I was gonna get her the Asus the Pier, but like a couple days before I was gonna buy it, and went out of stock. That's actually I ended up buying all my stuff like a few days early because I was gonna wait till the Prime Day sale, and then whatever's there, I'd buy it from Newegg or Prime, whichever one was cheaper. But the one I was gonna buy for her ended up selling out a couple days before I was about to buy it. I hadn't checked how much they had in stock at the time, because I got the list together and I was like, okay, it's June, let's just wait till early July. And then but then that ended up going out of stock, and I ended up getting an AirSrock Steel Legend, which actually looks nicer than it does in the pictures and fits a color scheme better than we thought it would. But I learned after I bought it that the AirSrock, while it was $80 cheaper than the one I was going to get for her, the one I got for myself, it is not as good as with the same model, the 9070 XT. It's still a 97 XT, but it runs hotter than mine does. Just, I don't think it has the same amount of cache speed. I think not cache speed. Base clock speed. But it still runs Streets are well, has a flash color she likes. It's just basically kind of like a white and silver aesthetic instead of a pure white aesthetic like we were originally going to go for it. But this one might honestly fit her aesthetic better because most of the stuff in her computer is white and silver. I think that worked out nicely. Originally, she was kind of thinking she might want white and purple, but there was no white and purple spots, and she's not as big of a fan of pink as she is a fan of purple. So I ended up just going like aiming for white and RGB. And so a lot of those were like white and silver, which I think is still a nice aesthetic. She still loves it a lot. Um, Her case is like out of all the ones I could find. We've killed the boss, by the way, for those of you listening and interested in the Guild Wars aspect of things, not about my computer problems and happinesses. We got the head of Xeris Stickleback just now. Just killed him. He was I think was he was I forgot what color he is already. If you guys look back, double check the color. He's not a ritualist boss, I'm pretty sure. I think he's like a ranger boss. If there's a separate ritualist. Oh well. I will worry about it too much if you guys don't. Um anyways, but her motherboard is a higher end MSI motherboard. I got her like an AX870 because it was like $150 off. It's like 270. The other one we were looking at was like 280, 300, and it was like B860, which is the one I got for myself from Gigabyte instead. Um, and um, but yeah, but otherwise most of the part and the CPUs, I got her 9800X 3D because she's like, I'm gonna do almost entirely gaming, which is basically what she does in this. She does entirely gaming plus she uses the internets. But for me, I was like I want to do streaming and play gaming, and also I plan on doing stuff with my Blu-ray collection at some point in the future. So I wanted the 16 cores. So I got the 9950X 3D for $200 premium. Am I going the wrong way? Oh, I'm going. Apparently, I'm supposed to go to Moshang Hills with this head. Oh, crap. Well, I'm just gonna make use of the fact that I'm right by the Jade Flats anyways, which is one of our quests to the Jade Quarry, which should be over here. And then we'll just go back for that other quest. So the Jade Flats should then immediately take me to the Jade Quarry. Yep, I was right. I'll lose out all of my henchmen because it's, PvP area, of course. It's kind of like how the Fort Aspenwood had the Aspenwood Gate and Fort Aspenwood. You go Jade Flats, Jade Quarry. Shady Luxon, I think that's just doubling the name. But, oh yeah, this is the right one. Okay, perfect. I had the Kurzik version selected. That's why I was confused about like, where's the guy? Oh, he's over here. Elder Rey sent you. Good. Your assistance is very welcome, my friend. Yeah, that actually didn't give us any faction for that quest by itself, but we did get some Luxon faction here by like killing all those enemies. So we're over halfway there. I'm very happy about that. Let's see. I need to continue this one. I'm going to see if we could just leave from one of the outposts we got before. Let's give it a try. Did I invite the Cutthroat on accident? No, I didn't. But I did forget the Illusion Henchman. There we go. Apparently, it's actually outside Aerodon Terrace, so I am going to be a lazy bum, and I'm going to leave from Aerodon Terrace, because why do the extra work if I don't have to? You know what I mean? I am willing to spend the extra money I need. No, blessings. Yes, give me the blessings. There we go. Just so I can get a little bit of extra faction. You know what? Let's kill this group that we don't have to kill, just so I can make you justify my 100 gold. There we go. They all should have been affected by painful bond, which is good for me. I can see the damage numbers already. Yes. Die so that I may be even more powerful. Yeah, one thing I will say about the 9070 XT, it's something where this is the first computer where I'm really tracking my like the metrics of everything because I want to make because I'm like I spent so much on this. I want to make sure it was the right choice. I put everything, and I put it together myself. It's the first time I've successfully done it. I've owned 3 tower computers in my life. The first one I tried and failed to put it together myself, and I then and basically rather and then at that point I'd saved for like over a year, maybe like almost 2 years, to buy that computer, and I because I as I didn't have like a normal job, I would save like lunch money, but also do some odd jobs here and there for my mom and her coworkers to try and save with the money. Um, and then I got it. The second one I ended up getting, I bought a pre-made because I didn't really know much about computers at the time, and I like hardware, even software. I don't really still know all that crazy amount. As I say, I make it work, and then I'm like, great, it worked. That's kind of the extent of my learning there. Uh, though in hindsight, if I was more comfortable putting things together, and I didn't think about focus, because the reason I got it, I was like, oh my god, these GPU prices are so crazy. Because this is like 2022, 2023, where the GPU prices were insane because of crypto mining and all the shenanigans and supply chains and stuff like that. They're still crazy today. I think like, and so like using my hindsight from today and the fact that I did successfully put together a computer, I probably would have saved money today if instead of just getting a new computer like I did, if I opted to just replace everything except my GPU. So my GPU at the time was only a couple years old. It was the 1070 Ti. Um, but I wanted to upgrade my computer because everything else was 7, 8 years old at the time. Um, and so I just had to opt to do the whole new computer, and I sold it for $200. Um, but like hindsight told me that I should have. Yeah, I would have been better off if I just bought a new computer than and except minus the GPU. That way, in this current setup, instead of buying a new computer now, I just would have bought a new GPU. Probably would have like better in the long run, financially speaking. Anyways, Tawag Zing. It was a Naga. Well, no wonder. These creatures attacked my rickshaw driver on the way here from Caning City. But now that I see this, I know the Luxons are sincere. You never can tell with provincials, you know. Please accept this token of my gratitude. Well, glad to have been of service. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here to Zos Chevro's channel. And next time we are going to do the halcyon job. And then what we're probably going to do is I might end up trying to do the Jade Quarry quest here for the Kurzik side so I can get that done. And then once that's done, probably I might do off video. Most likely off, no, maybe not off video. I think what I'll do is the next video after that, I'm going to do the side quests here that is in the Mashang Hills, the ones that are just limited to that area, just so I can kind of show off what it looks like for you guys, and document it also for myself. Unless I happen to find a new side quest, then in which case, new side quests. But we'll do this, probably do the Jade Quarry next episode, so that way I can get that officially unlocked. On this side, we should also see where Fort Aspen was on this side, because that's something that's going to be over here on the Luxon side. Because for Kurzik, we had a quest for both, but I've only gotten one for the Luxons. So I'll be curious to see how that goes out. But I do appreciate you guys coming here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Apologize for, I noticed sometimes I was transferring loading screens. I guess because the lighting for monitors would change, my face would get really weird looking. I mean, it's still not perfect right now, but it got even weirder. But I do hope you guys had a good time, and I hope you have a great day, night, evening, wherever you guys may be. And again, sorry for no video last week. Technical difficulties are OP. Bye.